We are overall bullish on the NASDAQ E-mini futures, pushing to the upside, as you can see here. So I'm looking for opportunity to take pullbacks to key areas of demand at this point until the market kind of proves or tell us otherwise, to where maybe it's taking on a reversal. So right now we're trending to the upside until it makes like lower lows and lower highs and starts taking out structure down below. To the left hand side of the chart, and I've talked about that infamous trend reversal type pattern that the market makes. Well, not say trend, but with the reversal, the market makes a reversal to the downside where it makes its first low, lower high, and then break structure coming to the downside. Haven't quite seen that yet here on the higher base chart, so we are still bullish. Simply put, we are, or this is a high right here, okay? So if the market breaks this area and takes it out to the upside, this will be a major high. This is our major low resting right here. We could, break structure and then pull back to a key area of demand right here on the 120 range. With that said, if we look at the E-mini future chart, a higher base or higher time frame, bullish just as well. The market broke structure here. Looks like it was Friday's trading session. We broke the structure here. This was a beautiful area of demand, high probability. And now we are breaking more structure here to the upside. So this could be hopefully a pullback. Right here will be a beautiful area of demand for the market to pull back to, and then we can look for an opportunity to go long. Again, I like to scale down or move down to a lower base chart here on the E-mini ES futures down to a 12 range. If I'm looking at my if I'm looking at the NASDAQ E-mini futures, then I would be looking for to scale down to the 24 range. All that does is allow me to get into more of a precise entry point when it comes to trading supply and demand, because that's what I'm trading, is aggressive areas of buying and selling. So this is the actual aggressive buying demand zone off of the higher base chart on the ES E-mini futures. Here on the NASDAQ E-mini futures, this is a nice area of demand where the market is broke above this major high right here, and I can mark this up right here. Okay, so let's see what happens if we can get a pullback here on the NASDAQ. Now, if I move down to like the 60 range on the NASDAQ E-mini futures, we're bullish as well. Moving down to the 24 range, we're bullish as well too. On the 24 range, there is a low probability demand zone resting right here, in which the market could probably, is bouncing right now from or off of. So I'm not interested really, because it is a low probability zone. There's no imbalance or gap resting back at the zone, but that does not mean that the market can't, break higher from this area here. So I prefer to see it pull back to a key area of demand on the higher base chart first before, taking a trade moving back to the upside. So I'm going to just kind of pause and wait to see what happens. Now, I'm going to bring over the Forex Factory calendar right quick. If I can bring it over, give me 1 second here. All right, and we're going to look to see what the news is for today. This provides the economic calendar for all the current news events or economic events during the trading session. Right now, there's no news for today, Monday, for the U.S. Session. Well, there's no U.S. news, I should say. Everything or other countries is, as you can see right here. So Forex Factory is a great economic calendar that lets you know, if I was to show you tomorrow's, and then it shows you each and every day's high impact and medium impact and even low impact news that may affect the current markets situations or conditions. All right, looks like we just got to push to the downside right here, and still pulling back on all charts. As you can see, 60 range, there is a demand zone resting right here that it just bounced off of. Trying to see. Yeah, I'm late on this entry here. There was a high probability demand zone right here. That I may have been able to scout back to the upside, but I was looking at the economic calendar at the time, so we'll wait it out and see what happens here. All right, so Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna hold off because they've already tested this area here, got a little bounce here, so I'm gonna wait. They could come out and test a little higher after rejecting off of this area of demand right here. So I'm just gonna wait. I wanted to go long, but I think I'm just gonna hold off here and see what they do if they come a little lower. I like this zone here on the 120 range, this demand zone where there's aggressive buying on the NASDAQ E-mini futures. And we have confluence as well with a 24 range demand zone, aggressive buying in the same, same area. So this would be a nice area that we probably can get a bounce or rejection from on the 24 range. Not 100% sure. No one knows, but we do have confluence at both areas is what I'm trying to say. So right here on the 120, and then when I scale down to my 24 range, we have a zone right here. So let's see what happens. It could come a little bit. No, well, these would be low probability. So yeah, this is a high probability zone here. So I'm going to wait to see what happens in this area. All right, we're just a few points away from 2-3 points away from this area right here on the 24 range, and the market just broke through this zone here on the 120 range. So that's invalid. This one's invalid as well. Looks like on the 60 and on the 24 we're breaking structure to the downside now, but we're bearish direction now on the two lower base charts, but on the higher base 120 we're still bullish. So I'm looking to see what the market's really going to do. We have a low probability zone resting here around the 450 area, so the market could react off this low probability zone. That would give me some slight bit of confirmation, but again, this zone is low probability resting here. So I'm going to be, if I do take a trade, I'll be very cautious and be looking really into my 24 range chart to see if we can carry through with some kind of bullish activity where it's breaking structure higher. So okay, now we're at that 450 half number at a low probability zone here. We'll see. The market may want to come down and really break structure back down to the downside. Like it's already broke through this area structure here. I'll be looking for maybe a lower high, and then maybe the market come down here and break this to really give me some more confirmation. So or really it's already breaking and taking out this area here. So if it made a pullback, made a lower high, and then broke to the downside, taking out structure, then all charts at that point we would have shifted from bullish back down to bearish. So we'll see what happens right here as we are now at a low probability zone here. And if I look at my 12 range, it looks like we made a high, higher low. Maybe we'll break some structure above 473, for example, and maybe we'll push higher. Because, again, overall, we're still bullish on the 120. But, again, this is off the NASDAQ E-mini futures. And looks like it's still trying to push, stair step into the upside here. Looking for a breaker structure. This was a definitive moment here for on the NASDAQ. So that's a major high resting up there. Okay, looks like we're breaking to the upside now. I think I'm going to go. I'm waiting to see what it's going to do. I'm really waiting on the 24 range to really kind of give me some more direction, I'd say. Okay, I'm going to go long, to be honest with you. And I think I'm going to take it back up to maybe here on my higher base chart. I only got filled with one contract. Okay, so let's see what happens here. I'm looking for the break. Okay, it just broke 473. This could pull back to right here on the 24 range, and then it could continue pushing higher. So let's see if that will carry through. Still not filled on my last contract yet. I'm not sure why I did that because I only got filled with one contract. Let's see what happens here. One contract up 25 points, 26, 27, 28. Let me go ahead and put a stop in place. I'd say like right about this area here. Kind of lock in. Yep. Put it right here now. There we go. Let's take this off the table here. Let's move this up a little bit. We'll lock in our profit here. This will put us, let's go ahead and lock in some more profit here. Don't want to come back too much, right? All right, come on. We'll lock it in here. Maybe that's about 26, 27 points. Yeah, let's lock it in. All right, we got fill there. Let's close that out. That was like a 30-point move right there on one contract only though, but still. Didn't get filled on the second contract, and we could probably run higher and fill some of these. These are fair value gaps between these candles here. We could come back up to this area here of this is a supply area, but we're still bullish, you know, even though this is an area of supply back up to the top here. So because we haven't really made a nice swing where there's a breaking structure on the 120 where we made a lower high and breaking structure lower. So, but right now, we are breaking structure back to the upside in the direction or movement with the higher base chart on the 24 range. So my lower base time frame. So we'll see what happens here. But yeah, that was a nice. I mentioned once it broke above, 473, 474, it'd be an opportunity to go long, because then on the 24 range, the lower time frame chart here on the NASDAQ Emini futures, we've been making higher highs and higher lows. We finally got that break. And then if you look at the higher base chart, you can see that it reacted off of this low probability zone, if that makes sense right here. This is a low probability demand zone right here. But as you can see, we're also around that 450 half number too. So, that gave a little bit more confluence there. Even though it broke through the 450 area, you got to understand it's still in that geographical area on the higher base chart. It don't have to be right at 450. It could break 5-10 points and then come down to a level like this, a low probability level, and then react off of it again. But I'm also looking at my lower base chart to see, okay, are we re-breaking structure back to the upside as well? That's giving me more confirmation that this trade can work out going back to the upside. All right, so I'm looking to see if we will. Okay, so it's still breaking structure higher here. I'm wanting to see if it's going to continue pushing to the upside here and fill these remaining gaps right here. All right, so let's see what's going to take place here. Right now, we're kind of moving sideways right now. So the lower base, my lower time frame, the 24 range, breaking structure to the upside. So let's see what takes place right here. We're kind of moving sideways right here now on the lower base chart. Let's see if we're going to break above this area structure right here at 524. Got a nice little pullback. We've made high, higher, low, breaking structure, pushing higher, pulling back some, retesting some lower areas, looks like. And now it's moving sideways. So let's see. Will it want to, push lower, push higher, kind of in this area right here? I'm looking forward to break above and take out this area structure at 524. But it may want to push lower, and break this area here to the downside. So then that way we would have a nice push lower, lower high, and then breaking structure lower. So let's see what takes place. Come on. I want to see it take out this area right here. And then the pullback, and I'll go long. So come on. Moving sideways right here. So let's pull back. So you can see the market was breaking structure higher to the upside, making these higher highs and higher lows. Then we got to push down, pull back, breaking structure. Now, this on the 24 range lower time frame will be a small major breaker structure back to the upside if we can break above this area right here. And I'm talking about breaking where it's getting ready to break and take out this high right here. So it looks like they're trying to break lower. I mentioned earlier they're making a lower high here on the higher base 120 range time frame. Breaking lower now. Okay, it is broke structure. So yeah, we're bearish. Back to the downside looks like now after making this bullish push to the upside. Lower base, you can see it here. Breaking structure lower. Coming down, making lower highs, breaking lower. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Now maybe they could possibly pull back to this area of supply right here and then get a rejection off that area to go continuation lower. They're pulling back to a supply area here on the 24 range time frame. I'm looking for maybe a quick scalp to the downside here. Okay, they're breaking through it now, so that's off the table. Let me look at here at the higher base chart. Again, I mentioned there's a higher right here. There is a 120 range supply zone, but let's see what happens here. Yeah, at this point here, I would like to see them push a little higher up, retrace a little higher. All right, let's see what happens here. This is a previous area of demand here on the 120 range time frame that they're reacting off of. But overall, I mean, it looks like we are starting, made a low, lower, high, breaking structure lower, taking out some structure here. So I'm interested to see what would they do here. Are they going to continue pushing lower, pull back, retrace to the supply area, and then continue pushing lower? I'm very, very late on this trade here. Okay, let me try to. I'm entering this trade going short back down to this area right here off of this area of supply. Oh, gracious. Area of supply right here. Let me go back to my 24 range, put my stop in. I'm late on this trade. Very, very, very late on this trade. Give myself a few points room there. Actually, let me bring this stop down some. I'm very late on it, guys. Let me go back to the higher base chart. Oh, okay. Position got filled there, so we're already out. It comes back down. I mentioned just a few moments ago that this was a key area supply resting right here on the higher base chart, and it pulls back to it right there, as well as a supply area on the 24 range. So let's mark this up right quick. Okay, 120 range, and then the supply zone off of the 24 range right here. Okay, so when you have opportunities like that, where you have a zone within a zone type setup, then I like to see those because it helps me get into more precise entry point, to be honest with you. All charts, and then you can see it right here. So nice setup there. Not sure how many points I actually picked up there because I didn't pay close attention, but yeah, that was another scalp to the that's a scalp to the downside right there. The first one was a long entry, but that's pretty much going to wrap it up for me today. I was looking at structure of the market at the time. When we got down here, this was, a previous area of supply, demand, but then I moved over and looked at the lower base chart, the 24 range, and saw that we were breaking structure to the upside, so I looked for opportunity to go long. Here we are now. We finalized our move to the downside where we broke below this first low, breaking structure, made a low here, pulled back, and broke structure here. So that's a sign of a reversal, and then I just waited for this pullback to this to this area of supply right here, and then went short. So but I'm looking at it off of the lower time frame when it tapped into the zone was right here, and we also had a what am I trying to say here? A 24 range supply zone off the lower base chart to go short off of. So that's why I went short. And as you can see on both charts, you can see that we were bearish to the downside at this current moment. Here's another area of supply resting right here where this red line is at. So I can mark this up on the 120 as well. High probability. Market could come back to that area as well. And we can look for, rejection to go continue short. back to the downside. So the market is bearish right now, pushing lower. I mentioned earlier part of the video here that it made this low, breaking below this low here. And then this was a higher low, excuse me, a lower high. And it could possibly want to try to, aim for lower areas. And that's exactly what it did this morning. So I just have to wait it out. There is a 24 range supply zone right here that the market could test. But you got to be careful because there are other areas that may want to test coming back to the upside. So we'll see. All right, so it looks like we're definitely pushing hard to the downside here. Very bearish. And I had this supply zone, breaking structure here, aggressive selling lower. So I'm not quite sure how far back the market's going to pull back to. There is a what I'm trying to say is that on the lower time frame, the 24 range, we've already kind of, started reversing back to the upside. So we got like a little bullish channel back to the upside here. But be careful because, on the higher base chart, we're definitely bearish. But we could just, come back and break below this area structure. We'll see what takes place here. But again, there is a nice area of supply resting up here. But that's going to be pretty much, that's going to be it for me for today. I'm going to be honest with you. That's 2 trades. First trade was like, I think it was for 30. It was a long entry, 32 points. And the second trade was for 12 points. So that's pretty much it. That puts me at 44 points on the day. Those 2 little trades right there. So, hey, get what you can get pretty much. That's like 2 20-point moves for me on the NASDAQ Emini futures today. So that's going to be it for me. If you're still trading, I hope everyone much success. Be safe in the markets. Be careful about, getting trapped in between in wedge situations, like when the market is kind of consolidated and moving sideways. You can see we had a high here. It came down and made its first low, breaking this area structure. And then it pulled back, forming this lower high right here. And then it finally broke structure. So once it did that, it finalized or finished up the reversal part or portion where the market was moving bullish back now to bearish now. So we are bearish. I would highly recommend anyone trading, even on lower base charts, to look for setups to where you can look for opportunity to go short, because the overall higher base charts or larger time frame charts are bearish at this time. So we're still moving bearish to the downside here, and that's going to wrap it up for me today. I mentioned we had a pullback. There's a demand zone resting right here. We just broke more structure down to the downside, pull back, another breaker structure. Low probability demand zone right there. But yeah, that's it for me. I appreciate everyone tuning in, watching today's video. This is just, the breakdown of the session for me trading the NASDAQ Emini futures. We did look at the ES, but I primarily focus on this market here today. Now we are channeling and trending to the downside. You should be able to see that. But outside of that, if you are interested in becoming an elite channel member where you can get additional video content to where I break down the trades, if you go to the Discord, for example, the Discord is free to join. The link is down in the description portion of the video. Click on it. You can join us. Where I post my trade entries over there, I will break them down for the elite channel supporters. That's where I go into detail talking about structure of the market, because that is a very important concept and component to trading. If you do not understand how to read the market and structure, you are going to, I'm not going to say you're going to fail, but you're going to have a hard time succeeding and being consistent trading, all right? Meaning becoming profitable day to day. So that's where I post my, that's where I break down the trades that I take. I'll post them on the Discord, then I'll go back to the private community and break them down in detail so you can understand structure, profit target areas, stop loss areas, things of that nature. It's as if you're sitting next to me and you're getting the full rundown of the trades that I actually take, so you can look for similar setups, but also understand a basis of what market structure looks like, because that's, like I said, it's key. You also received the market structure video that I did that's included in becoming an elite member, and you also received the video playlist. For anyone that's interested, the link is right below the Discord link down in the description. It's only $6.99 a month. That's all it is. That's like 24 to 25 cents a day. That's like spending $1/4 a day for valuable information that could be game-changing or life-changing for you. But that's up to you, okay? The link is down below. Outside of that, if you haven't already, become a subscriber to the channel, please make sure to click the sub button. Also, make sure to click on the bell to turn your post notifications on so you don't miss any of the uploaded content when I post. But outside of that, if you found value in today's video content and you like seeing videos like this right here where I'm breaking down the market in reference to what I see and trades that I'm actually taking, please make sure to click the like button, the thumbs up button, and leave me a like on the video. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.